Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the ESEA Advanced Season, the home stretch, the final 2 weeks for this Advanced Season in Season 53. I'm your main caster, Storm, here on the channel. Very interesting game upcoming. FlyQuest Red versus Sleepless Gaming. FlyQuest Red are an ESL Impact team who have been exceptionally strong so far. They're composed of most of just a female roster, but they are exceptional fighters, and they are very high ranking so far for this ESEA season. Currently 7-4 versus Sleepless Gaming, who was 6-4. This match will actually decide a lot in terms of placement down the line, and hopefully put Sleepless Gaming a little bit over the line going towards the playoff ending for the regular season. Our match for today, though, will be sending us to Nuke as our matchup. Not exactly the normal pick that we would see from Sleepless Gaming. I know they said that they were working on a 5th map. Maybe it was Nuke. Maybe they've been working on it in silence. And I gotta say, this is a little bit of a bold call from both sides, considering they let it slide for the most part. But if you're playing as FlyQuest Red, you have these reps on Nuke. You've been playing this game a lot more dedicated, especially considering how like abundant your reach is and how strong a lot of your players are. So I'm definitely very excited to see how this game turns out in the long run. We'll be getting started with the knife round here in just a few seconds, I believe. But what I wanted to really say about Nuke for the most part is obviously it's a very enclosed map. There's a lot of different high-low elements towards the A site as well as the B site. And audio can also be a huge factor in going into some of these rounds. How can you play your audio well? How long will you be walking to get a little bit of advantage position? But in addition to that, you also have all the different ways to find a flank, different ways to get behind your enemies, and all that different ways to play. And I feel that this is one of those maps that, despite not having like the most updates over time, there's always different ways to play this out and different ways to really make your impact going into some of these rounds. And even pistols can be a deadly threat. As we begin the knife round here, a little bit of patience from both sides, trying to win out the numbers. Most of them going well into Sleepless Gaming's favor right off the rip. So Sleepless Gaming will get their choice aside, electing to go to the CT side right off the rip. It can be a little bit of a dicey call overall. We know that the CT side can be a little bit stronger the CT side can be a little bit stronger, but the T side has also gotten its fair share of buffs going into the start of CS2. No kits, a nade in the hands of Mr. Owen. And a lot of utility in the hands of the FlyQuest Red. Flashing out of Mini, trying to get their space. Good for the first. Owen finds a tap on the trade. Trying to find as much space. Owen finds another one through the smoke. Jade and Nova both in heaven, trying to play for that position, but with their teammates smoked out from Mini, it's just not going to be the right timing for any of these fights. Bibian gonna hide. Ooh, just perfectly as Jade inches their way out. Good for, oh, not actually good for the first. Trying to find the damage. Eventually it falls. Nova drops into the middle of sight. Jade on 5 HP. Having to try to take that fight around. Vent, tap, not good just yet. Trying to find the shot, not given. The last two from Emmy and Horse Girl will finish off the round. T side, go with the pistol. A fast aggression out towards A. Smoking off Mini as well, but Owen, he managed to open up 2. It was looking so optimal on that 4-on-3 for the retake, but it just didn't work out the way they planned. Setting themselves up for another set of A hits. No upgraded pistols in the CT side. This should go well into the favor of FlyQuest Red, but it just matters how much damage they can really do. How much money they can grab. And so far, Goose Breeder gonna take the fights very patiently. Mac 10 good for 2. Trying to back away, a little bit hurt. Nade as well, good for the third. A lot of money being built up, holding the line as long as possible. Trying to delay the inevitable just for this one Mac 10. Eventually gonna be found through the smoke again by Owen. And so that one SMG can be recovered from Sleepless Gaming. But the damage is done. Bomb planted B. 1,800 extra for Goose Breeder. Money's worth. Still looking for some exit frags. Nova down to 13 HP. Not going to be in a really good position to get anything done. Owen making the noise in towards vent. Going to drop. Trying to find any more frags. Cannot get it done in time. Shot in the back. This Horse Girl finishes off the last kill. Mac 10 not able to get anything done in the hands of the CTs. A little bit panicked, a little bit discombobulated on the sort of push that they wanted to go through. Maybe playing for a little more passive forward, those exit frags would have been a little bit more detrimental. Try to take a forward position towards ramp, as well as holding back of secret. 2-0s right off the rip. Obviously the first gun round for Sleepless Gaming, and they need this round win in order to really secure them any sort of comfort going into the next few. So a back and forth type of game. FlyQuest Red trying to chip away as much damage from the CTs with the util. Molly on top of HUD as well. Gonna only burn out a little bit from Top Shadow. Nova also finds a kill of his own. Backing up as long as possible in towards HUD. Good for the first frag. Emmy's trying to find a little bit more through the wall. Not going to find the right timing. Burned. Nova finds the kill onto Horse Girl. Emmy, 39 HP in a 1-on-3. Has to recover. The bomb has to get their way in. Cannot get the right timing. As Jade finishes off the last frag. Sleepless Gaming first on the board and with 3 players alive. A pretty convincing fashion. Obviously, a standard A setup. Throwing a molly towards Asian Vent as well as a molly on top of Hut. This is a standard T setup in order to be able to get in towards the towards the A site as fast as possible. Flash is also to go over, but Top Shadow playing the anti-flash and also playing the far corner of Hut, so manages to get the jump onto 1 as Nova also finds a trade frag. Gives them a solid advantage going into that round, so now they just got to make more capital off it. Obviously, you have more guns to work with, more utility to work with, and this is your chance to break FlyQuest Red. Put them into a save round in the following round. And Nova's already inching his way up secret. So much time on the clock, and here's going to be all the information that he needs. Oh, did he spot that? Did he spot the arm of Bibian? I don't know if Bibian spotted that, but she's looking down towards secret. So the thought process is that Nova's also exposed. And everyone's going to be holding for him. Goes right back up, gets the right timing, a dink, but not the kill. Bibian trades. Now Secret's fallen wayside. Gooseberry to run immediately in towards the B site. Jack spots the walk back up. That's the information for his team to not have to rotate back towards B. Top Shot is going to take a forward position in towards lobby as well. And this round could actually get very interesting. Owen's going to get smoked off. Jumps right before Owen is smoked off. Good for the first frag. Owen's trying to find a little bit more outside that mini smoke. 40 seconds on the clock. Jade can peek outside at the right time. Jack's good for 1. Traded back out by Vanessa. Still taking their time outside. Leaning in towards Mini here. Top Shadow. Forward position in towards Hut. Jade, or in towards lobby. Jade also pushing in towards Hut as soon as possible. Top Shadow tries for the spray. Good for 1. Traded back out by Goosebreeder. Spots the player inside the vent. Jade still has the back of 1. Can get the right timing as Owen is trying to bait for that information. Now spots the information. Good for the kill. It's all done to Goosebreeder in a 1-on-2. 29 HP, but also has the positioning to go back from Squeaky. Missed shots. Traded back by Jade as 2 players from Sleepless get alive out of it. And like I said, that round got so interesting so fast. The fact that there was so much information from Jade towards the B, or from Jax towards the B site, getting all that information to make sure that nobody on the CT side over-rotated towards B on that feint. And FlyQuest Red, they weren't ready for all of the CT side to just be there towards the A site. Tried for a play, but waited a little bit too long to try to execute off it. Now you're relegated down to pistols, a few bits of utility because that bomb plant. And getting down vent, Emmy, good for that initial push. Jax trying to hold on to ramp, good for the first. Spread out wide, burning in the Molotov. Trying to go back for the frag, Jade does get it. So the M4 is recovered in a safe position, but that bomb is going to get planted. So money in the bag for FlyQuest Red going into the next gun round, obviously. They don't have a gun really to work with, but they have forward positions. They can play the headshot angles perfectly. Goosebreeder's good on the first, trying to find the frags. It's Nova and Top Shadow, all down to Emmy. Tech 9 still sitting in toward control. Breaks open the window, information given, kill found. So Jade cleans up the last frag for the round. Very good setup for Sleepless Gaming, making sure that nobody could recover Jax's gun. And just playing for your trades, letting the bomb go planted. A sacrifice must be made, and it was the right one for the call. First tactical timeout from FlyQuest Red. And this is something that you like to see from higher level teams. You like to see the utilization of timeouts when things go rough or when plans have to be changed. And especially in moments like this, you're also talking with your team. You're also going back to your strat books to try to figure out what you could do differently, what you could try to break out of the CT side, see if they make any adjustments, or if you can figure out their puzzle in these early rounds. 3-2 in favor for Sleepless Gaming. Full gun round from FlyQuest Red, full utility and everything. Sleepless Gaming a little bit more money in their bank. Not too much to really say. They're in a comfortable position. And CSTV crashed. I have a feeling that CSTV mainly crashes during when more than one person is spectating in CSTV. And I know that FlyQuest Red are also streaming on their channel. I'm very well aware of this situation. So maybe, just maybe, CSTV is a little bit broken. So it's trying to get back into the server as soon as possible. Not finding any sort of success just yet. Still trying to get back into the server as soon as possible. Obviously, CSTV not really allowing us. It can be very picky at times with certain servers, and I don't know why. But ultimately, until we get back into the server, I want to talk about this kind of matchup. Obviously, FlyQuest Red, a bit more of a known team, obviously playing in ESL Impact. They've played against some of the best female teams, as well as some other teams in different tournaments, different events. They have their records. They have the skill level to really show for. And in ESEA Advanced, obviously, you're trying to play for a spot in Challengers where everything takes a giant leap forward, a giant step forward. And here we go back into the game. Post-plant situation, a Horse Girl, the last one alive, trying to play towards ramp. Smoke on top of the bomb. Sleepless Gaming get the last kill. And despite the hiccup for the round, we get to see Sleepless Gaming win it. I'm assuming that they took it more towards ramp, trying to overwhelm Jax. He finds himself, I believe, a kill. Still opening up their way towards the B site, playing for that man advantage. Eventually making it a 3v1. That's what I'm assuming. Obviously, we couldn't see it, which is very tragic. But FlyQuest Red, that was kind of a round that they were really hoping for. Obviously, you're about to get max loss bonus, but the bomb still got planted, so you still have a lot more to look forward to. And again, the objective is to rip a gun away from the CT side, try to make as much impact as possible in these situations. And Jade playing very aggressively with that AWP. Good for the second shot. Trying to find a third. Getting rushed down by those pistols. Crossfire from Jack. Here comes Jade swinging out wide. Good for the frag. Goose Breeder alone on 1-on-5. Cannot get it done. His Top Shadow to clean up the last kill. And Sleepless Gaming, that's their economy boost. Jade holding the line with that AWP. Not over swinging when he doesn't need to. Relying on Jax's rotate to cover for him. And play for that crossfire. Works out well in their position. And the first stop to come out from the T side for FlyQuest Red in the hands of Emmy. Full utility to their name as well. 5-2. A good start if you're on the CT side. Obviously, your CT side in most maps has been a little bit more rough going into the season. This is the kind of start that you want to see. It gives you a little bit more leeway to try to make some plays on your T side. At the end of the day, this is more of a CT-sided map. Outside smokes, patience from FlyQuest Red, just not overextending anything unnecessarily. Bibian gets off the silo. Nova hears the information out of secret, gets the first kill around the smoke. And now that puts FlyQuest Red in a little bit of an awkward position because they have so many people towards outside, and now they've lost the only map control that they really had. Horse Girl still holding on close into Squeaky Door. Top Shadow still holding on tight inside of HUD. The op baiting for him, making sure they had so much room to work with. Running out through, does get the frag. Bomb goes down as well. Emmy to try to find a trade frag with that AWP. Cannot get it done just yet. Awkward position. Good for the first frag onto Top Shadow. Trying to look for a little bit more. Can work their way out towards Squeaky Door. No one from ramp is peeking as well. Flash is good as well. Horse Girl, 30 seconds on the clock to really figure out the situation. Jade, missed op shot as well as one from Emmy. Pistol pulled out. Flick op shot, good. 20 seconds on the clock. Horse Girl does not have enough time to go back for that bomb, especially with 3 of these CTs alive. And that's going to be a round win for Sleepless Gaming. Op not recovered from FlyQuest Red. And this puts them in a very difficult position. Because Horse Girl does not have the money to support or the money to buy into utility. This is a very good call from Sleepless Gaming. Top Shadow pushing aggressively in towards Hut while most of FlyQuest Red was sticking outside. The shot through the smoke from Nova also opened up a realm of possibilities. And Jade finding another crucial op shot when it mattered most. 13-3 is his scoreline. He has been having a whale of a game so far for the CT side, and we've been seeing a lot more of his individual glow up towards the second half of this season. And honestly, this was something that probably makes him feel a lot better about himself in this team, and especially in this roster. He was a new addition alongside 2 others. He must be feeling so much better about yourself. Vivian again on top of Silo. Ooh, she swings out at the right time. She can spot out Nova around the smoke. Nova's gonna tuck deep in towards Garage. Nobody's playing for that information. Boost Breeder flashing towards Secret. Owen's gonna back off, so he doesn't want to take this initial fight. Keep himself alive as long as possible. Vivian's still not able to find the initial contact in towards Garage, so these positions are going to make it very wary for FlyQuest Red, as Nova can still take so many fights towards Mini here, giving up a little bit more control outside. Here comes the Garage push. Good for the first frag. Vanessa going to try to hunt for that second frag. Not able to find the right time as Bibian goes around towards Heaven, taking that initial fight. Smoke not going to be thrown as Vanessa pushes. Bit of a lobby crunch as well. Horse Girl backs off, not able to find the op shot. 3-on-3 is the situation as Owen finds 2 more. Pushing through Secret, finds himself a third. Opens up so many more possibilities. Bomb down again, and Horse Girl left in a 1 versus 3 that you cannot possibly win. You have so much room to trek. And this time, your information's given. You actually are a little bit more exposed after taking a fight. And so, the push outside, Owen's going to try to hunt this, try to take the gun away, probably at the last second, but it doesn't matter. Owen still finds the frag, as Sleepless Gaming move up 7 in a row. They lost the initial 2, but have converted 7 more rounds to really make this an intense game, and a very well thought out plan. More than enough money to buy for their team. Jack's also getting a buy from his teammate. FlyQuest Red again relegated down to the pistols. Again, some utility to work with, and outside smokes to start to rain through. Owen looks like he wants to take an aggressive position towards Mini here. Nova, ooh, gun out, or nade out at the wrong time. Goes down to the Secret Rush. And here comes the B-site Overwhelm. Jack's still in a forward position in towards control here. He might be able to find a couple frags if the timing's right. Good for the first. Finds the follow-up. That's the bomb as well. Dropped out of position. So much information given. Owen has his back from Secret. Knows all this information. Horse Girl sitting inside a vent. Last player alive. 1-on-4. Dink. No kill. Owen shuts that one down as Sleepless Gaming deny another bomb plant. And what a setup from Jax. Beautiful stuff from him. Obviously, it was very rough seeing Nova go down on an awkward timing outside, but Jax held the line, found himself a triple kill by taking that forward aggression down towards the B site and setting himself up for that triple kill. FlyQuest Red again. They've beat some of the strongest teams here in this season of ESEA Advanced. Right now, they're getting overwhelmed by Sleepless Gaming. Default setup from the T side. Not taking a very aggressive position outside, and Silo's gonna fall off. They're not gonna try to take any sort of outside control despite that utility. And they had a Heaven player on the CT side, so they know That secret should be very safe indeed. Another smoke. Another 2 smokes to go outside, late from the T side. Nova's going to get this information, throw a molly in towards secret. That's going to be a feint. Prevent any sort of early rotations, as well as Hell being out of position. Jack still holding on outside the smoke. Flash to come through as well. He's going to tuck right around the box. Try to go for the first. Cannot find the follow-up on the spray. Jade mollied back in Hell. Cannot find the op shot down towards the B site. And Nova's going to wrap around back towards secret. Has more than enough space to do so. Top Shadow, he might get caught off by Horse Girl, still holding onto that squeaky door. First shot, a little bit good. Does eventually find the trade frag. Jade still trying to find anything for that trade to try to get back down towards vent. Is Owen still lurking towards ramp, tries to find anything. Jade, good on the first shot, but not enough HP to justify going down a very unsafe vent. And Owen's going to take a little bit of a defensive position towards ramp, try to play for those exit frags. And nobody on the T side is going to buy it. Oh, wait a second. He actually might have the time to go in, try to tap on the bomb. Bibion hears this, going to try to go for that kill. Does, but will it cost her life? No, it doesn't. 15 HP, barely surviving. If that was a backside plant, there is no way Bibion would have survived. And you're able to go for those risky plays. You have the money. You have the gunpowder. It's Sleepless Gaming. No harm, no foul. The most you didn't want to do was just accidentally give away another op. Second tack timeout from FlyQuest Red. They finally got their first round after 9 rounds of strife. And they have to try to close this half out 4-8 to give themselves an optimal position. Because once the CT economy starts to stagger with a round loss, it can only mean more disaster from there. The AUG again coming out in the hands of Top Shadow. We haven't seen much of this in the previous seasons. And when we did, never ended in the most pretty colors. Taking forward position on top of Hut. Looks like a little bit of a lobby crunch coming out from the T side. Flash outside of Hut. Top Shot is going to back off towards Asian Vent. Going to get mollied back as well. But the smoke from Squeaky Door actually covers his tracks a little bit. And a player has already fallen in the hands of FlyQuest Red. Spam him through the vent. Top Shot is eventually going to find it. Op shot from Jade as well to clean up one more frag. And a lean towards ramp with that bomb. Blitz footsteps are made. Jade coming back through Hell with an AWP. Might be met on the other side of Emmy. Arm exposed. Good for the first shot. Now that information's given, Vanessa has the opportunity to go back towards Hell. Maybe towards outside. They're going to inch their way down towards the B site. Jax is sitting towards Astralis. Out in the open. Little ways to expect that. Oh, Jack caught the arm of one. Good for the first shot. Off missed, and that's going to be the cleanup. 9-3 in favor for Sleepless Gaming right off the rip. And it just seems like FlyQuest Red just didn't have the confidence going for their T side. Didn't have the trust in their aim. And I gotta say, this is a little bit uncharacteristic. I'm very surprised. But nonetheless, this was a great showing from the Sleepless Gaming CT side. Obviously, this is a map that they've practiced. This is a map that they've been working on because of how big their strats go for their CT side, their change-ups and all. It's up to FlyQuest Red to really make a statement on their CT side. Sleepless Gaming, they're going to set themselves up for an A pop, or possibly an A feint. The smokes come out around the vent. Bibion gonna hide inside the smoke. Good for the first shot. Here comes the ramp aggression this time. Horse Girl has to back up after all that information. Emmy also gonna get immediately tapped from the running gun Glock. As Horse Girl's going to take a forward position in towards control, not able to find the shots just yet, gets gooshed down to 15 HP. And here comes Sleepless Gaming, changing up their strats again by running back up the ramp, making a lot of noise and causing a lot of confusion. Health equalizes between the two teams. Vanessa, the only player towards the A site for now. As Horse Girl is going to try to inch up towards ramp, kind of find the other side of Nova, who's holding Goose Breeder, walking up through Secret. Top Shadow's outside right now. Spots the first one on the mini. Good for the first shot. Traded right back out. Now the A rush is going to start to come through as the health advantage is nowhere to be found. Goose Breeder still tapping away. Switches USPs to get more ammo. Eventually finds the first frag. Jade down to 9 HP as well. Cannot get through the door, but somehow gets out alive. 3-on-2 for this retake. More than doable. As Nova taking the first fight, immediately headshotted off the angle. As Jade gonna find the first one, 10-second defuse. Vivian gonna stick it the entire time. 5 seconds left on the clock, and Jade does find the first tap. Tries to go for more and finds it. Triple kill from him for the 1-on-3 clutch to win themselves out on the pistol. Both pistols going in favor for the T side on Nuke. One for FlyQuest, one for Sleepless Gaming, and Jade, the patience despite the health disadvantage. FlyQuest red, they couldn't finish off one body shot onto Jade. Too much panic. Too much maneuver. 19-4. Jade is having a masterclass game. Vivian gonna be closing towards Hut here. But the footsteps already kind of gave that information away. As Jack's going to be holding to see if they make any sort of push out here. Goose Breeder also taking a forward position outside. Ooh. I like where this is going so far. I feel like Sleepless Gaming have the right read on this round. Top Shadow breaks his way out through Squeaky Doors. Lots of first player on the rafters. Good for that frag. Jax is going to start to waltz his way in towards Hut. Makes a noise. Oh, but here comes Vivian, and Jax is still ready. Dink onto his teammate, but nonetheless, the frags go well in their favor. Boost as well. Horse Girl still on top of the box. Good for the first frag into Owen. Tries for a little bit more onto Jade. Cannot find the final shot. Jax finds himself another triple kill with that Galil against the Pistols. 2 rounds to secure the win for this matchup. And a buy round from FlyQuest Red. Famos in the hands of Vanessa to try to get more utility to work with. Galil's an A case for Sleepless Gaming. Obviously, not having the SMGs, just keeping the rifles in play is more than enough firepower for what you're going up against. Emmy gets the first frag on a Top Shadow immediately into the round. Those early frags mean a world of difference. Breeder's gonna try to hang around these outside smokes, trying to find anything just yet. Nothing of the spams is gonna come to fruition. No one drops down a HUD. Maybe it hears all this information outside and knows there's at least one player, possibly 2 with the amount of smokes that have been raining down. What a shot from Nova. Immediately takes out the garage player. And again, Owen's going to take so much space outside. Emmy, flash in hand, does eventually spot the arm of the first. Owen also spots out Emmy at the same time. Ooh, here comes the walk up. Owen finds a shot. And FlyQuest Red, they need to make a play off this one. Vivian's still hanging towards Secret Vent. As Horse Girl inches their way up out of lobby. The timing not going to be in favor for them in towards Hut. Eventually back turn. Good for the frag. Jack's in the middle of sight. 16 HP. Does have utility to work with. This Horse Girl is going to try to go for the cutoff to try to deny the bomb. Does. A much needed round for FlyQuest Red to stay in the round, but they only got 1 gun out of it, so they're going to have even less to work with. 2 rifles and mostly SMGs left in their hands. A scout for Emmy. Headshots are a must after seeing Sleepless Gaming's performance so far. And Owen's down to a deagle. Making sure the rest of his team gets AKs and other rifles. Trying to make a little bit more worth it. Here comes the outside aggression. Owen jumps around the smoke. Nade is perfect. That's the bomb spotted as well. So two of these players from the CT side are going to make this a very difficult trial to try to get down towards the B site. Eventually, smokes fade and Goose Breeder gets tagged out a little bit. And Horse Girl's alone down towards the B site. The rotation's already not coming through for them just yet. Emmy's still holding on to ramp, trying to see if there's any sort of aggression, but Sleepless Gaming have also slowed down their pace, trying to find out what the play is so far. Where FlyQuest Red could be standing, but they don't realize Horse Girl will be close on the scaffold, playing this very, very defensively. 45 seconds on the clock, more than enough time to work with as Nova is still inching outside, trying to find all that information, trying to find a kill as well, maybe sort of fake it. Eventually the information on one, Goose Breeder still not taking any more damage and not dealing any more damage, as Nova's still trying to make as much noise outside. And here comes the wraparound, the rotation coming in towards B site. 20 seconds on the clock. Nobody's ready for Horse Girl to be on that rafters. Good for 2 kills. Goose Breeder also finds one. It's up to Jax to try to at least get this bomb planted. 13 seconds on the clock, and the time is just not in his favor to take all these fights. Good for the second. Dies afterward to the SMG, and that's going to be rifles going in the way for FlyQuest Red. So now, down to Glocks. A deagle in the hands of Jax, who's 19-11, also meeting up to expectations with the multi-frags. Also having a fantastic game so far. Default setup from the CTs, trying to not get over-aggressed by pistols. But it's an outside stack from Sleepless Gaming. They want to stack up. Most of their players try to go for those long-range fights to catch one of these CTs off guard, but Goose Breeder is going to be all the way back towards CT spawn. Tap away is not going to be good for anything just yet. So Jax opens up the initial damage into the round as Goose Breeder has to change positions. Try to take another off angle, try to take another decent fight, but Jax is still forward in this position and still going to take all the timing well into his favor as Goose Breeder is going to give it up outside. So a full minute left on the clock, and a backdoor to B has been made possible. Vivian still spots the outside presence. Goose Breeder goes up top in heaven. Crossfire from Goose Breeder and Emmy gets a little bit more damage done. And without them taking any presence in towards Secret, it's just going to be left to their own devices. Just not able to get anything done just yet. Deagle eventually recovered by Jay to try to open up any sort of kills. Not able to find the shot. Still not able to find it. FlyQuest Red clean it up. Perfect round from them. And this is where I'd say that the judgment call from Sleepless Gaming kind of stalled out. They had a lot of space. They could take a backdoor towards Secret, try to play a lot more close range fights, and try to mess with FlyQuest Red's aim. But they continued to go outside, eventually setting themselves up for a crossfire from Hell, Heaven, and from Mini, as well as opening up the possibility for a T-spawn flank. So a little bit of a miscommunication on an awkward round for the pistols. And obviously not having bomb plants is making this more and more difficult. Horse Girl's going to take the initial contact against Jax. Outside, also going to fall into Goose Breeder's hands. Trying to spam through the smoke to find a little bit more damage. Just missing. Just barely. Eventually going to spot out the second player. Jax goes down. Or Jade goes down. Jax also finds a frag in towards Hell and Ramp, cutting off the early B rotation from Ramp. Horse Girl has to go back, opening up a possibility. But Top Shadow and Nova are going to back off of Secret as Jax has taken full Hell control. Can take more space outside, but there's still 3 players. towards the A site. Goose Breeder also tucked into lobby. And Sleepless Gaming, they're overthinking this round. Ready for that heaven re-aggression. Vanessa tucks in front of Hut. Trying to play for that contact in mini. Bibian to play for that first information towards heaven. Missed opportunity on the first shot. Cannot find the second kill. Bibian also only gets the one. Goose Breeder still tucked into lobby. Played timing perfectly. Hut will also get mollied back as Jackson's gonna back turn. Nova left in a 1-on-2. More than enough possibilities to work with. Gonna wrap back around through Squeaky Door. Try to play for those close angles. But most of FlyQuest Red has to realize where Nova is. Good for the first frag. Recovers another AK. Flashes go out as well. Oh, he has to reload. Horse Girl still sticking the bomb. Eventually the pistol comes out. What? As a CS player, I have to wonder. What? You heard one gun getting thrown away just to pick up another gun. Horse Girl still sticks for that defuse. Maybe trying to think that it won't go for that re-peek, but he did. And that kind of sold out the pistol, or sold out the round. But with Nova almost having no ammo, it almost actually worked out. 12-6. 6 chances to close out this game early. Very dominating start from Sleepless Gaming. 0 down right off the initial for the round against Emmy's op outside. Here comes the ramp aggression. Horse Girl, good for the one. Traded right back out by the SMG. Emmy still holding tightly in hell with that AWP. Cannot find the right timing. They're still trying to figure out where these two players have gone. Molly still also go through very deep. No one's ready for this close angle onto Goose Breeder, but here comes the shots from Bibian in back sight to deny the bomb plant as nobody cleared out the close left angle of control. They threw the mollies down the stairs, but they weren't ready for the player to be already up. Playing the off angles perfectly. Bibian peeking at the right time when backs turn for Sleepless Gaming. 2,400 is their next loss bonus. So they just had 1,900 as their current loss bonus, which isn't much to work with. It just decides that you have to save this round. You will be able to get a gun round into the next round. But here comes a fast A aggression from Top Shadow out of Mini, not able to find any of the shots, and his team is not there with him. He was able to take so much space, but the rest of Sleepless Gaming just weren't there. I feel like that molly towards Squeaky Door just scared all of Sleepless Gaming, and Top Shot was just wondering where the rest of his team was. A miscommunication, surely. Passive hold with that AWP from Emmy, and it might work out well. Good for the first shot. Trying to find a follow-up. Good on the second one. Horse Girl wraps back up through the ramp. It's all down to Jade with a deagle. Cannot get it done. Another clean round for FlyQuest Red on their CT side. More of that is needed. But obviously, they're building their economy now, but it won't matter if they lose the round. The only thing that Sleepless Gaming could really do to still dampen the CT economy is lose convincingly with only one person on the CT side left alive. Smoke setups towards outside. Emmy gonna play towards Credit, not towards Garage. Might have been able to get a kill towards Garage with the amount of jump peaks going over that box. The outside smokes will come out completely covering that position. The CTs are trying to find anything through the smoke, try to find themselves a little bit of damage or a kill to really give themselves a bit more of a comfort zone. As the outside smokes start to fade, Top Shadow and Nova still trying to find what they could do early on. The Molotov giving away a little bit of information that they don't have anyone close to secret, so Goose Breeder is going to start to inch this way up. Nova's going to be ready on the secret angle. Ooh, but if the timing's right, Goose Breeder could get away with it. No, Nova finds a head immediately, right off the rip. So man advantage going in the favor for Sleepless Gaming, but that could turn on its head immediately with how much presence is still being held towards the A site. Here comes the Heaven player as well, out from ramp, and here comes the Crossfire as well. Vanessa staying alive for long enough. Jay gets the trade frag. Vivian runs out of ammo in the AK, almost finds a kill with the pistol. Emmy's still trying to find anything with the AWP. Nade down to 1, barely alive. A Molotov will doom her. A flash will kill her. But the post plant to come through. 1 kit in the hands of Horse Girl. It's sitting in towards Minnie. If she goes down, Emmy is in a really rough position, having to drop off of Heaven as well. Trying to find that timing. Top Shadow dodges the flash. In comes the shots from Horse Girl. Good. Getting out of Minnie. Trying to find the shots. Horse Girl finds herself a triple and finds a follow-up. 4 in the round on the retake. As FlyQuest Red keep themselves alive. Too many missed shots from Emmy opened up the possibility for her death, but Horse Girl just wrapped back around through Minnie, finding all the follow-up shots, all the sprays that were needed, and staying alive, keeping that kit in play. And if you're Sleepless Gaming, you're kicking yourselves after that round loss. The time was already ticked. You had the 2-man advantage, and Emmy was already down to 1 HP. And seeing that health report later is only devastating. Again, jump spots outside to try to find that information. If Nova re-aggresses at the wrong time, he's a dead man. Goose Breeder still hanging outside. Oh, good shot onto Emmy. Baited out. The op is now gone accidentally because Goose Breeder waited too long to shoot. Maybe I'm going to get mollied out of top hut. Not ready. Or, excuse me, the T's were not ready for that player to be there. Vivian runs out of ammo again in her primary. 19 HP, running, gunned down, and there's the last frag. Jade cleans it up, and it's going to be Sleepless Gaming to win it out 13-9. And that was a very good start for Sleepless Gaming. They had such a dominant CT side. FlyQuest Red obviously pulled back their CT rounds as well, but it was Sleepless Gaming to continuously put the pressure on them throughout all these rounds. And they had the better aim overall for the entire series. They were looking so fresh right off the bat. And it just looked so optimal for them in these rounds. And I gotta say, I was completely shocked by this. Obviously, we haven't seen Sleepless Gaming be playing on Nuke for this season, obviously with their new roster. And this was not something that they mentioned about their regular practice schedule. So, gotta assume that's what they were practicing, and they did it convincingly. They showed that hard work pays off in the end. And so they're going to move up to a comfortable 7-4 on the season. Mr. Owen, a very strong start for this game, and a very strong start towards the end of the season.
Yeah, playoffs is looking good.
I gotta say, so obviously you guys were mentioning about your 5th map in the map pool. And obviously Nuke was a bit of a shocker towards the stream, so most people wouldn't be expecting the Nuke float towards the end of that veto. Is this a map that you've been practicing?
It is. It's the 5th map that I mentioned we were practicing.
The rumored 5th map.
The rumored 5th map. And so we had some bad scrims on start. That's expected. Then had a couple more, and then by the end of them, we were not having any dominant wins or anything like that. But we were playing much more respectably. And our 4th map, which we haven't played, so I'll still keep it a secret, but we don't feel super strong on, and we haven't played it in a while. So FlyQuest just beat Mythic last night on Dust 2. On the map. I just gave it away. So there it is. Dust 2 is our 4th map. Fuck me. But yeah, they beat them on that, and the team that they beat on Nuke with their 1 Nuke win was not as strong of a team. And so I thought that their Nuke was not as strong as their Dust 2 by that appearance. So even though we hadn't been playing it as strong in scrims, I thought it might give us a better chance because they play our permas, like a bunch of our permas, like including Nuke, obviously. So it made it a tough veto, but I think I played it well, and I think it paid off, and I'm so happy the boys boys are fragging on Nuke.
Absolutely. And obviously, we saw another huge glow up from Jade, and Jack's also pulling off several impact multi frags when needed. Obviously, they looked a lot more comfortable going into this map. And we know that some of these players have had rough starts, have had rough endings towards the season, and everyone just trying to better themselves individually. But would you say that this was a step up for all your players?
Uh, yeah, I think it was everyone everywhere across the map at the beginning of the CT side was just locking it down, no matter where they were coming.
Mhm.
So that was pretty sick to see. I felt like I was calling pretty good setups. I was reading them pretty well throughout the half. I felt like, and it just felt like everything was clicking on the CT side for sure.
Absolutely. And we said before that your CT side has obviously looked a little bit more challenging, a little bit more rough, but this time it looked almost flawless. Obviously, the excluding the first two rounds of the half, everything else, you guys built the momentum and just kept the pressure up, keeping your players alive and keeping your economy in well balance. This was a huge difference that we've seen.
Yeah, it's nice to feel the effects of our map pool rounding out. Um,
Mhm.
Feels like we can now. This was kind of a proof of concept that even if teams are strong on maps that we don't play, like our map pool is deep enough that we're not going to get caught off guard. At
Right.
least as far as the rest of the regular season looks, and once it's looking like we're maybe going to make playoffs, we'll have to practice a six map, and at that
Of
point,
course.
kind of be the learn process again. But from
Mhm.
there, we can just move on and refine everything, and just keep getting those step ups that you're noticing.
Mhm. And I did want to mention one more thing about the T side. Obviously, a little. It looked like there were some mistakes, kind of some miscommunications. A couple rounds to mention was one of the pistol rounds outside, where you gained so much control of outside without losing a player and without taking significant damage. You had the opportunity to play more close range fights towards control and B and try to go for that bomb plant, but why did everyone stay outside?
The idea with that round was Jack spot the one deagle, and we were trying really hard to get kills because they had one person live the first round they won and three the next. So if we could have
Mhm.
gotten at least two kills, then we keep their eco from like stacking up, and the next round one will break their economy. So even though we have the lead, it's really important to
Break
keep the
them.
pressure on the economy and not just use all your util too early and then you get no kill. Use all your money too early, you get no kills, and now they're able to build an economy and just nothing you do. They just have gun
Right.
rounds the rest of the half. You don't want to give that to them.
Right. And another round I wanted to mention was the pistol rush in towards A, where Top Shadow was able to break his way out of mini and out into the middle of site. But it just seems like everyone was a lot further behind, three players back of lobby and a player outside. It just seems like everyone was on a different page going for that round.
Um, I, we were pretty much on the same page. What ended up happening was I wanted Massimo to uh I did want Massimo to flank outside the lobby just to get info, and since he didn't get anyone, we were able to go back A. But if he spotted, we might have just gone down B back to ramp.
Mhm.
Um, but since he didn't get anyone, we were gonna group up lobby before he peeked into mini. But David ended up taking contact on ramp, so Massimo decided to go for continued information. So we got the kill a little sooner than we were actually ready for, but I think it just kind of had to play out the way it did.
Okay.
And then following that point, I think we did misplay it. But yeah, that was the idea going into that at least.
All right. Obviously, your first official after bringing Nuke into your fifth lineup. Um, and we're heading into the last few games, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday of next week. Some relatively notable names. Holly Molly has climbed up the ESEA ranks over the last couple seasons. I believe you had another team I recognized.
Guangdong Tigers.
Yep, that's him. Um, would you really say that there's like a huge need for the change of plans for the final three matches, or is there something that you want to keep in reserve going into playoffs?
We're not gonna play uh any maps we haven't practiced
Mhm.
on. We're just gonna drill those what five we think we might play. Um and yeah, just kind of get a look at what we think our opponent's strengths and weaknesses are, and uh
Okay.
yeah, we'll scout them, get an idea of what we think we're gonna play,
All
and play
right. Well,
accordingly.
you do your homework. You got another 5 days before your next matchup. But for this one, this was a very decisive victory, I would say. This one looked
Mhm.
super good from you guys, and I'm very excited for how this turned out and how the rest of your season could line up.
Yeah, I'm stoked.
Well, so this brings you to 7-4 on the season. Your current placement as of today is 12th. You still have 3 matches to go, so that placement can change up. So I'd say do your best over the next few games. You're probably going to need 1 or 2 more, but I'm very excited to see what happens. And congratulations.
Thank you, appreciate it, Storm. Thanks for casting.
Yep, and again, thank you to Top Shadow and Sleepless Gaming for letting me cast here. As always, ton of fun. And I was very excited to see what happened for this game because obviously FlyQuest Red, very well-known team. So this was a fun one. I had a lot of fun. But again, thank you all for tuning in tonight. I'm your main caster Storm, and we'll see you on Monday night, 9 p.m. EST. Good night, everyone.
I heard that you're better now. Hiding out in a seaside town. Always knew what I wanted reflected back to me. A life like mask, can you wondering if you're coming back? And I'm just you in the winter with the windows down. The dazzling fire, the tarnished crown. Are you coming back? Just holding on to you is like holding on to smoke. You're drifting through my fingers every time I think I'm getting close. And I go, you know